Yeah, it's good, better. The controls are locked suddenly.
Wonderful.
Hi, Vignesh.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the year, as we say, as it was. A brief overview of the year at Canvas Space and a deep dive into the micro world with all of us. Welcome, Kaki. Welcome, Vignesh. Wonderful to have you guys, as always.
Thanks, Yashika.
Thank you, Shika.
So, welcome to all of you all listening in as well. Today is when we all sit down and talk a little bit about Canvas space and a deep dive into the micro world. Intricately and thoughtfully crafted and designed to bridge the gap between the growing creator economy and the declining subscription and ad revenue models, Canvas solves the monetization problem for creative organizations and modern media companies by providing a new revenue opportunity through micro content monetization. So, how is it that we have approached this burning problem within the creator economy, and how are we revolutionizing it through micro? And of course, the SaaS solution that we have at Canvas Space. Let's address the key milestones of the year. Wonderful to have you guys. Vignesh, over to you to dive into our key milestones and what it is that we have been able to achieve at Canvas and the micro, uh, you know, plans that we've had this year.
Sure. Thank you, Ashika. Thank you for the introduction and hello, everyone. So we thought that today we will just have a summary of sorts. Like, we do the weekly stand up in our company every week. And we thought that, we'll do a version of that where, me, Madan, and of course the core team members will share what we have been able to look into when we take a look back of what we have done in 2023. With that context, I think the overall conversation, what we are looking at is we will be deep diving into the milestones of the company. That's what we would first look into. Then we will have couple of round of discussion around the learnings and the observations we have done while we were implementing some of the strategies in the market. That will kind of entail into the US market. What are the challenges which we have seen? What are the good things we have been able to observe? And finally, we will end the conversation around where do we see creator economy and what is the role of micro which we are looking at and what are we planning to achieve in 2024. I think that's the overall gist of what we are going to discuss over the next 30 to 40 minutes. With that, I think Karki, I'll just share some of the milestones which I think we have been able to achieve, even though we had a very interesting I would say a roller coaster in a positive way because of the current market situation and how the creator economy is and how the overall learning curve we have had as a product. So one of the first thing we have seen is everybody taking time to understand our idea because there is no parallel to what we have built in the industry. So let's say when we go and talk to a media company, the first thing is, oh wow, this is a very interesting idea. Then it takes time. One of the thing is the learning curve or the behavioral change of someone understanding the importance of micro. So that's where that's why I call it a roller coaster because we tried a lot. At the same time, we have been kind of have some amazing conversations with some of the three top companies in the creator industry or company which are focusing on creator products. So the milestones, we set up the company in 2021 of November, and since then, we have raised, I think we have completed 2 years now, and the overall journey has been where we have $1.8 million in funding. This year we have been able to look at at least 6 partnerships wherein we have been able to learn with them and try to build a sales funnel as such, because that has taken a lot of time for us. The initial focus was product, so which brings to one of the thing which we have achieved in product is from a micro content platform to a robust modular API system which we have been able to build. Then we have been able to submit 6 patents for our technology. So that is there with us. And at the same time, we have been able to finally set the ball rolling for our digital marketing activities, which has slowly kicked up towards the last 2 quarters of 2023. So I think that's what I would think of as the key milestones. Madan, if you feel anything else to add to this or any thoughts here.
Thanks, Vignesh. You used the metaphor of a roller coaster. I'm not a big fan of roller coaster, but I'd rather say this is a kind of a very interesting hiking trip that we are on in an unexplored area, in an unexplored mountains and terrains that people have not visited before. So that was a beautiful journey that I see it rather than as a preset roller coaster ride. But that was a very interesting metaphor that you put into. There were a lot of learnings, yes, just like you said. We met a lot of new people, and the event that happened in California, that was a beautiful event, meeting a lot of creators and people from companies, big companies. They were interested in the product right from the word go, and the event was one of my favorite parts of the year, where we created a song in front of a crowd, getting input from the crowd, and we are all part of the they were all part of the creation. So that was one of the key moments which actually got the attention of a lot of big companies. They wanted to meet us, and it took us in a very interesting journey. So yes, so I still put the metaphor of a hiking, a trail that no one's been there before. We were lost at times, and then we found the right path again, and we're just treading in the right direction, I feel. This micro experiments, working on the micro ads last year for some of the ads had come out very beautiful, because the creators who we worked with for these micro ads, they were fascinated by the idea as a creator, and also as a creator for creating awareness on the same thing. So that those moments were something that I cherish, working with those creators on that. And yes, it's been a beautiful journey, thanks to you and the entire team of Canvas Space.
I think hiking is a very nice way to put it. I think roller coaster, I always take it because I always see my personal side as well. So doing all of the sales funnel and all of that was a very crazier side to it, which when I look at it, I think it has a personal inclination to that. I think hiking is perfect, and I think the SF event was really amazing, where it kind of kickstarted whatever we were discussing internally into the public, and thereby we have taken a lot of steps and deviations, and finally we have reached at a solid state right now. So I think so yeah, that's it. That these are the milestones, Ishika.
Wonderful hearing these interesting connotations that you all have given. Of course, that's what one can expect from creative entrepreneurial minds. And I'll just take it a step further and specifically look at as you rightly mentioned, Karki. Uh, Primarily, a large part of the year was sort of building the awareness and actually taking it from a product or from an idea or a vision to actually taking it to the market and to the stakeholders and the creator economy as such. Of course, the SF event being an interesting starter or an introduction to what we had in store, and clearly what we had in store was wonderful. And from an awareness and marketing standpoint, I would put it into or sort of divide this into 3 tiers. specifically. The first one clearly being the conceptual awareness of micro and bringing that and highlighting it to the stakeholders, particularly the creator economy and the modern media companies. And it was wonderful to see how and we've all of us have worked so closely to try and bring this awareness through multiple interesting ways. An interesting example would be how we put that together into a storytelling format, and how Karki, with our original content, particularly, we stepped into creating podcasts, creating and focusing on subcultures, particularly text, audio, video, and images, and using these storytelling nuances and the creative side that we have, courtesy you and so many other stakeholders, and bringing that to the fore. Um, Over and above that, I think it was interesting to see two other aspects. One being the collaborations that we've had, particularly from the creative community, and the creative collaborations, including, one of the ones that I'm actually looking forward to on that note is one with Vidya Iyer and Shankar Thakkar. And hopefully, with that and from a global perspective, we will be able to showcase the power of micro that we have within the media and the creator ecospace. Apart from that, the second interesting aspect from an awareness standpoint was how we've been able to, like Vignesh, you mentioned, the digital and social awareness campaigns that we've been able to sort of use, of course, to reach out and to showcase the power of the product and of what micro can do for creator companies. Was interesting to see, paper presentation. For me, the highlight would be that, like you all were mentioning, for me, the highlight would be that, because at a media institute, with senior media stakeholders in the country, and trying to see how, this was sort of creating an impact, and the curiosity and the excitement and enthusiasm that I could sense within the academia was very interesting to note. And that was clearly a highlight for me, and at that. But including that and multiple other projects that we've been able to focus on, it was nice to see how multiple aspects have been able to come together. And okay, we have Sunny. Welcome, nice to see you, Sunny. But yeah, we were
So you
talking about,
can.
yeah, so we were talking about and discussing what it has been like, from a marketing standpoint. Um, Another interesting thing, particularly, will come from how we've been able to evolve the product from what it was through feedback of the inner circle creators. And here I'd really like to highlight how, Karki, through you and the inner circle creators, the creator collectives that we've had, particularly the media institutes, the film fraternity, and so on and so forth, of how we've been able to take Canvas to them and get the initial feedback and actually enhance the product to what they want and what they would like, so that it clearly helps them and empowers them from the point of view of showcasing the micro content monetization power that it has. Um, Including, one of the highlights for me also would have definitely been to see how, within the audio space, we've been able to take it to multiple podcast partnerships, and see how they're reacting to the product, and therefore enhance it and bring the integrations. And uh, interesting to note that we are actually looking forward to integrating with some of the key channels, including YouTube, to WordPress and Vimeo, and MailChimp, and so on and so forth, because these are clearly the platforms and the channels that the creator community is actually using at the moment. And sort of seamlessly integrating this into our product is going to clearly elevate the usage, is what I feel. And talking of product, Vignesh, it would be nice for you to help us understand what we have in store with respect to the integrations and how we're thinking of the product and how we've been able to sort of blend it into these media companies as we have.
Sure. I think the overall convergence of the marketing and the awareness, I think you have put it in a very nice manner. I think where I think me and Madan can also add one more layer is, if you're summarizing what you mentioned, is step one, the awareness, and how we have been able to experiment and strategize with create mostly the collectives and organizations to over the last couple of quarters to enhance our product. Step two is strategy around original content and again social media and digital marketing. That is the step two. And step three, if I can summarize, is the feedback and how we have been able to enhance the product. I think that's what you mentioned. I think Madan, from your perspective, because the creative side and you have been a part of a lot of these sales calls and the partnership calls and meetings. One of the interesting thing is the initial reaction has been wow, but it has taken us time to converge with them, right? It has taken a solid 5 months even to reach the kind of partnership conversation we have with the company. So what is it from your side of the thought process of being a creator yourself, going through this process? What is your observation all about before I jump into product?
Yes, Vignesh. So the leaders who we talk to, the people in the people who are heading the institutions, people who are heading the organizations, they're all fascinated when we talk about this idea. They initially jump in and they want to learn more and they want to explore what this one is, because anytime when we talk about an additional revenue stream, people are excited. That all automatically excites them. So you don't have this revenue stream until this point, and we are creating a new revenue stream for you. Because we were talking to them at a stage where people were having the subscriber fatigue and people were having drop in subscriptions, their overall subscriptions, and people were not happy with the advertisement models also to watch a lot of advertisements. So all these, so people wanted an alternative change. There was one interesting conversation I had with Mr. Rajiv Menon. He's one of the award-winning film cinematographers, part of multiple projects, and he's directed a few too. When I was talking to him about the photographs and the articles, and he was thrilled to know that he told see, the art is nothing but micro art. Any form of art is not. There is something about the whole, but a lot of the whole is formed with these small micro elements. When I go and he was part of some photography for in wildlife, so he was waiting for a few moments, 4 or 5 days together in the night and day, camping in some wildlife reserve, waiting for a moment to capture that particular moment. I was telling that it was that moment when they found that tiger along with the cubs coming over there to drink some water. So they had to wait for that thing. And that particular moment, watching the tigress or the tiger playing with the cubs, so that was one small moment in the whole 4 days which he was waiting for. Art in the universe itself is micro in nature, and looking at one piece of art and the micro aspect of it is something that fascinated him when I told him about it. So the same thing happened with when we were talking about partnerships with multiple people. Now I'm happy, we wanted people to come to Canvas. Now we are taking Canvas to people. So this is via these plugins. Now people have more opportunity to explore via WordPress plugins or plugins in different platforms where they use. This is going to give people more idea about how they use, because people are not ready to move. That is something which I generally figured out when I working closely with artists, and people being used to one platform for decades. they just stick with that platform. They can't move out of one platform on another platform. So for them to explore something new, to go to another place and port everything over there and try that, they've been having some trouble. So this way of Canvas going to those platforms is something going to be magical for the creators, and they have the comfort of their home, and they have some new visitor, some exciting visitor coming in, they to have an interesting conversation and see where the conversation is taking them, and how that conversation is going to inspire them. So I think this is a very good phase that we are in, trying to take Canvas.space to their homes.
I think that kind of beautifully connects to the product. I think Sunny is here. It's good to see you, man. So
Hi, Sunny.
the overall what do you call product, as Madan beautifully put in, the 2 years of learning like from the ground is building the platform, learning with the community, and finally getting the positive feedbacks and integration possibilities with some of the creative companies, which led us to an entire API driven system where we, like, we are happy to say that, like, we have a robust modular API system which we have developed in-house, and especially the way we have made the product. I think Sunny can add some points here. Is since the time Sunny came in as the tech head at that juncture, and now he is advising in terms of how we have built the API system. The overall idea has been, as Madan beautifully put in, as to how seamlessly we can enable the micro content monetization to everyone at ease in one click. So that kind of opens us to a plethora of opportunities where, one, we are looking at key partnerships with some of the biggest companies where they can enable this as a add-on or a augmented revenue channel. Second is us launching plugins, because we have been talking to a lot of creative people, creators who are using, let's say, an WordPress. So there are a lot of writers and podcasters who are using WordPress, who have been like, hey, why don't you release a plugin for us? That will be super easy, and we are more than happy to start using it. So that has surely added a new layer for us, which is point number 2. And number 3, from a product and tech, I think we have built everything. There is nothing for us to build at this juncture. So thanks to Sunny, during that entire time of 2021 to 2022, end of 2022, I think we have been able to build the entire micro audio, micro text, micro video, and even the image. To a certain extent, we have built the entire technology is ready, the entire APIs, endpoints, everything is ready. So I think right now for us, the product is beautifully ready, and our focus is primarily integrations and partnerships. So there brings in the thought process of us focusing primarily on sales, which we have been kind of doing more founder-led conversations where, for example, it is me through my connections, or Mother through his connections, or the core team through their connections. We have been reaching out to companies. We have been, let's say, having conversations with them, trying to see what kind of MOU we can build with them. So all of that learning, I think we have completed, by last quarter. And so the whole stabilization and partnerships, that's where, the product is going to have a very interesting phase in 2024, where we can see how the API is going to act, how many APIs are going to get called, what is the scale we are going to grow up with, what kind of partnerships we are going to do, because we have 2 to 3 big companies whom we are integrating with. So that will take our scale of our API system into some a different scale altogether, which is a learning curve for everyone building it. So I think that's the summary of the product. Before we move on to anything else, I think, Sunny, any layer from a product and technology you would love to add, it'll be good.
Hey, hi everyone. Hi, Madan. Hi, Vinesh. So, I think beautifully you have covered well about the product, Vinesh. Madan on the idea for sure. Even I'm still excited about how the micro thing we discussed in the very first part of it around 2021. and it's still the same. It's still very fresh, and there is no change. Even like it has been boosted up with the AI coming in the picture. The magic remains the same of the micro realms. Still, the micro holds greater value, and slowly it is going to take over the world with the people. And we started with this idea that why micro is very essential. And today, people know the value of it when they see a new tool popping up into the AI world of a Photoshop or a, Premiere. Adobe is trying to launch a generative part, so they are selecting some layers of it and try to modify with their imaginations and pumping it. That's where exactly the micro thing fits in today. With us, we started experimenting long back. Our product, the roadmap in the beginning, started having its own layers, and it started like shaping up how the world was moving ahead. And then, like surely, as Madan was mentioning, that leaving home is very tough thing for creators. For anyone, by the way. Like even if I'm in mountains, I would hesitate to move out of this place. It becomes very difficult to go somewhere else. So similarly for platforms as well, when we are very handy and very psyched about our own space where we can write and have gotten into the system, we like to introduce few layers which are new. That's what every software is doing. And for Canvas, since we started with the scratch and try to experiment with creators on a platform, yesterday, like last year or the last year, with more creators coming in, taking the tools, taking the advantage of micro concept, trying to push some canvases, and we tried taking the product out, the tech out, demonstrating to a lot of people across the globe. I think with the API coming in picture, this is going to take on to every piece of content creation platform where you can introduce the micro through the API engine that we have now currently well placed with the API platform team. So I think this is a good junction, by the way, in terms of tech, and it can just go up and up from here. There's no going down because you could take it to every kind of platform today. Like you can segment the products of APIs, you can bundle it right now, like either it's WordPress or Mirror or anyone, you could just directly sell it in terms of packaging with an API part. So I think the tech is very, very solid here to start with. We are still at the base of taking it to the world. In terms of API, we have proven our own capability through the use of platform that we had earlier. But now with the API, we are really going to show it to the creators through a medium which they were comfortable with. Like WordPress, they're very friendly with it. They were not friendly with the Canvas, but they are friendly with WordPress. So basically, it's easy for them to have one extra input of a Canvas layer which they can use and experiment. And I think this is just a new opening for them. It's going to open a lot of doors. Yeah.
Thank you, Sunny. I think product is a good state. So finally, I think product and marketing, I think this year we have gone through, and we are at a solid juncture which we can take it to the in a good direction in 2024. Now operations, I think Surya has been silent for a while. Surya, he jumped in and he came to support us. He's one of the strongest believer of our product since the beginning, since my last idea also. So I think Surya has jumped in a couple of quarters back to make sure that because we are doing an India and US, and primarily the B2B is in the US. So there are a lot of compliances. There are a lot of these, especially the big ticket deals, which we are currently in discussions with. It involves a lot of compliance aspects, which neither me nor Madan, we both are, have our own strong expertise, which we are focusing. So that's where Surya has jumped in and he's been taking in. So Surya, from your lens, how has the operations of the company has been? Any thoughts you want to share? Surya, you're on mute.
Yashika will have to unmute me. Yeah, thanks. I was telling Yashika, she looks more like a professor in a wide specs and all that. Yeah. Okay, I think I've started picking up from somewhere in April or May onwards to take care of operations, HR, finance, and compliance related. Of course, I always realize that I work with a team which is almost 2 generations younger to me. Okay, so and I need to cope with their lingo, their reactions, their approach. It's very nice guys around, and I have done my own set of adaptation to gel with the rest of the crowd for sure. Okay. It has been what do we say? Every conversation has been pretty pleasant. Even the difficult conversation, I think we are able to make it look like, yeah, okay, we can deal with that types. Okay. And of course, I somehow have a dual role. One, I would say, as a COO, which I've been christened by Vignesh. So there, I listen to Vignesh, and then suddenly I become an advisor. Then Vignesh is supposed to listen to me, right? So we keep jumping these roles, and I think there has been no major disconnects or crisis because I think the focus has been pretty same. There is no disconnect as far as overall mission or thought process is concerned. Okay, and of course the big learning for me, I would surely say, though very late in my life probably, Vignesh has got a knack of pushing me into a problem which is off salt. Okay, so he'll say, Surya, please take care. The way he puts it across, I have no choice but to go and try to resolve it. Okay. Having said all that, CFO or COO, they are supposed to always give something with a pinch of salt. Okay. So I would surely say that unless you convince customer, right, you ensure that customer is happy, right, and you need to win contracts, you need to win LOI, you need to win customer confidence, right. That is going to be the next step. I'm sure that we have done a great job as far as product is concerned and marketing is concerned. Awareness campaign has picked up very well in the last couple of quarters. Okay, but I would still hold back till you win a order where it's going to say that yes, we are good with this product what you guys have given. The solution is working for me, etc., etc. So that will be the validation of all your hard work you guys have done in the last 2 years. Okay.
Absolutely. And no, you very well put it, Surya, and that's where we are going to converge and close the call. Is the kind of deals we have been able to look at are all very interesting, and even the bigger ones which we are currently in the process of closing, and the ones we have already closed, the MOUs which we have already closed, the media companies which we are currently integrating with. So I think the overall definition of sales success is the initial revenue we have been able to start clicking in. So the idea is for us to start looking at hitting the bigger milestone and achieving the the $1 million mark of revenue, and that is, I think, one of the key focus which we are going to look at operationally, to look at changing the focus from tech and product to sales team. I think that's what we are going to look at in 2024 from an operational standpoint of view. So I think that's about it, Yashika. I think we have the marketing, we have the overall operations, and we have the product and tech done. So I think we can converge with our thoughts on the creator economy, and maybe what I can take the final defining what we are looking at 2024. So Madan, do you want to share what do you think about the creator, the space we are in, not as Canvas but the industry, and what any thoughts or any observations you have had from a distance?
Thanks, Vignesh. First, to add to Surya's comment regarding the generation gap that he was talking about, all he had to do was to learn 10 emojis and he could catch up with us. That's the only difference. So it's very regarding the creative space, Vignesh. We are in a very exciting phase and also a challenging phase at the same time for creators. The definition of who's a creator has changed a lot in the last decade. Last decade was fine, was even fine for the last decade. I'll talk last 10 months. The last 10 months, the word creator has a totally different meaning now. We have bots creating along with us, creating better than us. creating faster than us. All these AIs that's coming up every single day. Every single day, there's something really exciting for a photography, in video, text to video, text to text, text generation, everything, story generation, and everything. Now we are at a very interesting juncture where we have to compete with these missions. How we compete with these missions? How we can stand out as a creator? Can we really do it? This is the question that everyone's posing. So there was once, I think someone asked Picasso regarding, because portraits used to be the major thing that they used to draw. When camera was invented, they asked him, what are you guys going to do now? So what are you guys going to do now? Because there are cameras. It can capture the portraits. You guys are out of your job. He said, immediately he said, I can draw your eyes bigger. Can the photographs do that? So that's a creator. A creator found a thing that technology can't do. And now we are at a stage where we need to enlarge our eyes and have a better vision and look what the bots can't do. So the role of creator becomes very challenging. Now we have to evolve a new style for us that the bots can't have not seen so far. And be it photography, be it writing, be it video making, or being story writing, whatever it is, evolve a new style. So this is one. And as soon as you evolve a new style, the machines can learn it. So you have to keep evolving every day. Something that you've not done in the past, no one else has done in the past. So this is going to be the new role and new challenge for every creator in every field. And I think Canvas is in a beautiful place between these challenges and the creators.
This is wonderfully put, and I'll just add to the thought that Karki just mentioned. And while we're talking about creative industry and multiple, the definition of a creator, like you rightly mentioned, also an interesting aspect here is that everybody is a creative individual in that sense, and everybody is creating. So with that comes the essence of the attention economy. Where is it that this attention economy is going? Which part of it one must pay attention to? And we had this interesting thought process of say an Oppenheimer or an Oppenheimer. You're going to an Oppenheimer, and before that you need to read an article, and you need to read that one piece. At that point in time, and you don't want to subscribe to an entire month worth of content. You just want to satiate that that hunger, or satiate that desire of wanting to consume that content. So from both a user's perspective and a creative individuals, or someone who's creating within any of these realms of text, audio, video, and images that we've been able to sort of tap into with the technology that we have. Nice to blend in your thoughts, both Vignesh, you and Karki, in terms of where is this creator economy headed, or where are how is it that we, with respect to Canvas, are adding a sort of layer, an interesting layer for it to, because we are clearly revolutionizing the way both creatives and consumers look at content. So how is it that we are envisioning, and what are the key milestones that we are looking at, and key spaces that we are looking at as we move or step into 2024?
Sure. I think that with that we'll conclude as well. I think my observation has been, I think I'm going to completely stick with Madan's ideology. I think he has blended beautifully well of the different necessities of creators having to up their game. So with that, I'm going to share my observations, because I've been in the US for 2 years now. And I have always looked up to the creator economy market, even while I was building other startups in India. So the creator economy is very much active in the US, and one of the interesting observation is all the smaller companies, which are in the creator economy space, are being absorbed by bigger companies, or they are partnering with bigger companies. That is one interesting observation. Second observation is, the bigger companies are trying to add a layer for creators, and thereby, they are looking at a differentiator to differentiate them from other bigger competitors of themselves. So I think these are the two observations. I think even the biggest of writers in the creator economy space, like a Kaya, or like anyone who has been writing about the creator economy, have been focusing and sharing these kind of thought process. And I think that's where the creator economy is today. And as long as where Canvas is adding value, I think we have been slightly ahead of the curve, because it goes way back to 2019 between me and Madan. This is an idea which excited both of us since then to kind of start working on. I think we have had so many challenges still. Sunny came in, there have been a lot of challenges from a technological standpoint of view. Still, we all gave 200% to where we are today, is because we are bullish that this is going to be one of the very unique way of creators adding their differentiator or upping their game. So this is surely going to be a very, very unique yet a very powerful monetization layer, without impacting. They can still do a Patreon, they can still put out their content on different platforms, whatever they want to do. But adding one layer of micro content as a augmentation or an addition to all of that would be a very interesting layer, and we are bullish about that, and we have been bullish, we will be bullish about this, and so far the milestone has basically for 2024 is just focusing on the partnerships which we have some very, very big partnerships getting out, and we have some parallel conversations for different kind of convergence with some big companies. So that is a very interesting layer which we are excited for in 2024, and all of that in parallel to a sales centric or sales focused 2024, where we are looking at integrating to more and more companies, more and more media houses, and thereby enabling different homes with something new, something fresh. As Madan mentioned, we are going to different creative houses, and making their house better in terms of adding a new freshness to that. I think that's where we are going to be. So yeah. And with that, I would love to say that it has been a great conversation. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, Madan, and thanks, Ashika, for pulling this conversation. And I think we have had an amazing 2023, and of course we have had challenges. Every startup is going through market challenges right now as we speak, but 2024 is going to be great, and we have some amazing stuff coming up, and we will be more active on social media. And so with that, I would love to wish everyone who's listening it at any point of time happy new year. And if you're a founder who's listening to it, this is going to be a great year for you as well. Over to you, Ashika, Madan, and Sunny to close.
And if you're a media organization, you are really in for a treat, would be my concluding thoughts. But yes, over to you all.
Thanks. Thank you, Ashika. Thanks, Vignesh. And very happy new year to you all, and looking forward to our exciting 2024.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thank you, everyone.